Now you say, let go to grow. I think one of the things that I've struggled with, and I hear a lot of other lawyers struggle with, is if I don't do it myself, it won't get done right, or it won't get done as well.
Correct. I think that's a cop out. I think that's and I understand it, because the practice of law, especially the personal injury side practice of law, there is an art to it. There is a part of it that is very, very difficult to replicate, and completely 100% understand that. I think people tend to overestimate how big that piece is, and that there are things that you can systematize, and there are a lot of things that you can make more consistent, and understanding where those lines are is incredibly important. And I've been fortunate because my two partners are awesome trial attorneys, and they allow me to bounce ideas off of them. Go, okay, look, can we do it this way? Can we systematize this? And they'll give that pushback, going, it's too far there, or there's like, absolutely, that would make life way easier, and let's do it. And so, a lot of the firms, look, there's a bunch of different ways to build a law firm, and you got to find the way that jives with your beliefs, your core values, your vision for what you want your life to look like. I've seen people get, a solo practice, right, and kick butt. I've seen people grow a massive law firm, kick butt, and have happy, fulfilling lives, and do well on both sides. It depends on what you want to do. However, if you want to grow it, in that sense, it's tough to grow a firm to a certain size by trying to hold on and micromanage and control everything. You just can't. And if you look at the practice of plaintiff's law, we're trying to get the other side to do something that they really don't want to do, and we're trying to get them to do it as quickly as we possibly can, right? And which is pay our client what they deserve. And really, there's a bunch of things that we have in our tool set to keep pushing them down that road if they don't do what we're asking them to do. If we send a demand and they don't pay a fair amount, we file suit. If they don't, then we make them answer the suit. If they don't, we make them answer written discovery. If they don't, we make them, provide their client for a deposition. If they don't, we make them get ready for trial. And if they don't, we take it to trial. Like, it's a series of things. If you don't do this, we're going to take it to the next step. And the firms that are those intervals have dates. And what you're talking about is going, well, from the time we file suit to the time of the defendant depot, what is that interval? We're trying to shrink that down. We're talking about things that if you don't make them a priority, they'll never get done, right? And so you look at this list, and the rule I have is, unless there is like a firm ending event or something that is going to, bring everything to a halt, you cannot add to this list for this length of time. Usually it's a quarter. And everything else, like you're going to go to a conference middle of the quarter and have a brilliant, amazing idea that someone, and you're going to want to come back and implement it. And as a consultant, I'd say, nope, hold off, put it in the parking lot. When we're looking at stuff for the next quarter, maybe it makes the list, but you got to stick to this list, because what a lot of owners will do, or partners will come in, hey, do A, B, and C this quarter. Then they go to conference. Hey, I heard about, E and F. Let's do that. And then they go to another conference. Okay, what about G and H? And then they'll ask about A, and then their team is just all over the place. Like, come on, just give me a break. So you got to be disciplined about that list. We have what we call a valuation committee. The scenario I talked about, where if you have one attorney in your firm that could get $1 million in a case, and on the same exact case, another attorney might only get $250,000. The goal of the valuation committee is, can the attorney with the highest risk tolerance, the one that's going to push the highest limits on the case, can he bring that case up to $1 million for every case of that fact pattern in the firm? The way we do that is, if a case is over a certain size, you have to go in front of the valuation committee. In the valuation committee, we have the attorneys that have the highest risk tolerance at our firm setting values on cases. And then that pushes people out of their comfort zone. And in some cases, they might say, you know what, I don't know if I can get there. Hey, tier 5 attorney, can you take it, and let's go get that for the client? Show me how. And that process will, firms that I've worked with that have applied that process have seen crazy things happen to the results. Villafruto Pareto was a Italian mathematician. He came up with the concept that 20% of your effort usually creates 80% of your results. We've heard that 80-20 rule. That's where it comes from. And so each each business kind of has its own space. And what we found in the personal injury space is usually about, for auto and PI, about 20% of the cases generate 80% of the revenue. In doing more work with personal injury firms, I've seen that maybe what I'll call the super Pareto is 5% of your cases tend to generate 50% of your revenue. And then firms should find out, okay, well, where is that true? If we do auto, PI, med mal, nursing home, do the analysis for each of those case types and just see where do you fall, right? The time on desk for the pain point cases and the no fee cases, that directly correlates to a law firm's labor ratio. And what I mean by that is every firm has a labor ratio. Take the total amount you pay in labor divided by your revenue, and that's your labor ratio. The firms where that's higher, their time on desk for how much time they spend on pain point cases and no fee cases is typically long. And the short version is saying they spend a lot of time working on cases that only generate 1 to 2% of revenue or zero revenue. They might work on it for 6 months before they realize it's a bad case, or 9 months or 12 months. And that eats up labor. And so you have people at your office that are going, we're working so hard. They're working, but they're just working on bad cases. And the labor ratio goes through the roof.